言わねえんだよ。
Arms, the anime, was a really nice surprise this season. Megalobox is an underdog story about Joe. As you can tell, he seems to have a design reminiscent of Spike Spiegel. That cool, chill attitude that Spike has carries over to Joe.
名前を聞いといてやるよ。墓石がリングネームじゃ困るだろ。野良犬にそんなもん。
When you box in this world, you're given a set of mechanical arms, because, you know, anime. Megalobox is actually the 50th anniversary project of the classic boxing anime, Ashita no Joe. Little heads up, I haven't seen the original, I'm just aware that this is a spiritual successor. If there are connections to the original that go over my head, you'll have to pardon me for not mentioning them. Joe's a fighter that fights in underground matches and throws them every now and then so him and his trainer can make some cash. But something keeps eating away at Joe. Joe wants a real fight. Then enters our antagonist. Yuri is the lead fighter to win Megalonia, the boxing tournament that only the best of the best get to fight in. After a little confrontation on the highway, Yuri finds Joe to fight him in an underground match. Joe proceeds to get his ass handed to him in one round, and then Joe realizes he has found the fight that he's been searching for. Megalobox has the plot structure of a really great underdog story, because for Joe to fight Yuri again, he'll have to enter Megalomania, climb the ranks, and that's not the only thing. For Joe to stand out, he needs an edge in the ring, and that edge is fighting without gear, which is what garners his fighting title, Gearless Joe. What I really love about the rivalry between Joe and Yuri is that it's not another bad guy's bad so I need to beat him plot. Yuri and Joe genuinely respect one another and they both have a real passion to have a real fight. There is some real man love going on here. The first thing that you'll notice right off the bat is that this isn't your typical looking anime. Megalobox doesn't draw its world with solid black lines and that clean anime look. This world is sketchy, literally and metaphorically. It's an aesthetic that helps Megalobox tell its story convincingly. This is a gritty world, beautifully told through the incredible background art. A lot of effort was put into character design, buildings, and graffiti to make this a cool boxing anime. Megalobox starts off really strong. The animation, soundtrack, and dialogue were top-notch with a great first fight with Yuri. But unfortunately, every other fight that doesn't involve Yuri kind of begs to be as good as that one. It's strange how this is a boxing show, yet most of the fight choreography is kind of bad. Doesn't help either that the animation also downgrades by episode 3. Something that I also feel is to the show's hindrance is that in the process of achieving this show's retro aesthetic, it actually downscaled the resolution just so it can look as genuine as it could. I'm not saying that this makes this show look bad per se, but it's just not doing the show any favors. If most of the fights don't hold up, then you're probably asking, what's the point in watching? Well, the characters. The core of what makes Joe's story work isn't just that it's a setup to be a great underdog story, but also that the other characters that Joe faces are given actual depth. As an audience, we get invested into each fight because we're given development and motivation for both characters in the ring. I won't get into each character, I'll let you enjoy that for yourself. However, I do want to say I wasn't a big fan of this supporting character. I understand that he's a kid, and it's obvious what his purpose is in the show. He's that little rascal kid that gives Joe that motivation when he's down, but I couldn't help but feel that I would have preferred his character being cut to give really anything else more development. The soundtrack is awesome. Really well-made rap beats that are incorporated very well in each scene. I don't know Japanese, but the rapping sounded pretty great. Shout out to Nakamura Emi for a bumping ED. The opening was good as well, with visual metaphors to Joe being a stray dog. Overall, the OST, even the sound design, is really fantastic. When all is said and done, Megalobox is a good anime to put on if you're looking for a good underdog story. Though the fights themselves dip in visual quality, it's the characters, art style, and soundtrack that get you invested in the fights. I would highly recommend checking Megalobox out. It was one of my favorite animes of the season. The last fight's build-up was hyped up pretty fantastically as well. Well, that's about it. If you want to follow my Twitter on updates on when I'm posting videos, go ahead and follow me there.
Hey, Dad.
It can wait, Chris.
Dad.
I mean it.
Dad.
That drives me crazy when you do
Dad.
that. I said
Yeah.
wait.
Oh, this game's awesome.
Listen.
I got my Patreon if you want to help support me. Would really appreciate it. And other than that, I'll see you in the next video.
Yo, 俺たちはそう持たざるもの ID もない名前もない過去も未来もない今しかない何も